Episode 6, Spark Your Interest podcast, joined with 40. Today is a special, I'm joined with a special guest who you can probably hear. It's my favourite apprentice, Georgia, or I would say favourite, I can't say that, favourite female apprentice.
Favourite female apprentice, yeah.
And today we're going to be talking about lady tradies.
Yeah. Chicks in the trade.
Chicks in the trade.
Yeah.
You are a chick in the trade.
Yeah. I started August last year, so it's almost been 12 months.
So, first year apprentice.
Yeah.
So, for our first female apprentice.
Yeah.
Your first apprenticeship.
Apprenticeship, yeah. I wanted to start doing my apprenticeship maybe when I was 20, so 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. But
I reckon you were bugging me for 4 years, and you just always popped up into my life at random places.
Random times.
For about 4 years.
So
I think you
funny.
worked at every pub in...
every pub and bakery.
Every pub in the Northern Rivers, I'd see you because we do all the work there. And you'd always pop up and heckle me. And then I remember... At a wedding. I couldn't get away. I started feeling there was one point there where I was sus that you were actually stalking me.
Give me our job.
And you always seem to have a resume on you. So I don't know why you had that resume on you at that wedding. Oh, just
back pocket.
Yeah, back pocket. And I think that's kind of why you got hired, because you just annoyed me so much and were always there.
Fuck off.
It works.
I didn't annoy it. It probably took me it honestly took me about 18 months, I reckon, to get an apprenticeship.
I came to you. You came to me a few times. We talked about it.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of we weren't looking and it would never really work out.
Yeah, it didn't really work out.
And then I remember, I think I spoke to you, hey, and then I think you just had another job.
Yeah.
That was
so
not at a pub.
What? Yeah, not at a pub. Not at the night.
Because I didn't see you then, that's why.
Yeah.
But you were ingrained in my brain from all those times that you'd
just followed
me around in my life.
Fuck off, I didn't stalk you. Everyone's going to think I'm psycho. I'm not crazy, I swear to God. I just really wanted an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
No, but it probably did take me about 18 months because I sent my resume into everyone.
Yeah.
Called so many places, didn't want a bar of me or just weren't looking.
You weren't heckling them enough.
Well, there were just some places that I'd call and I'd be like, yep, I'm happy to do work experience, and they're we're not looking, and they were just...
Do you think that, did you have that thought of that when that was happening, that it was because...
I was a female.
Did you instantly go to that thought, because you're a female, or because people weren't hiring? Or
because I was a female.
It did go, that's the thought that you had straight away?
Yeah. Because what happened...
instant shutdown.
There was instant shutdown. There was probably maybe 6 months that I was looking for an apprenticeship, flat out, emailing, calling, saying I'll do experience, sending my resume, and a majority of the time I either just didn't hear back from any employer, or people that I spoke to were like, you don't have experience, we don't want you. And then I'd be like, well, I'm happy to do work experience, and they'd be like, oh, well, we're not looking. Yeah. And so instantly I was like, right, I'm a chick, they don't want to hire me.
Did that put you off at all?
Yeah. And then I couldn't get the apprenticeship, so, and I was, because I was managing the Lennox pub at the time, and I was over that, and I was like, I don't know what I want to do, I'll just get an office job to sort of tie me over for the, meantime. Then I was doing that, and then I was probably 5 or 6 months into that, and I was like, no, I actually really do want to do an electrical trade. I wasn't interested in doing being a chippy or a plumber or anything like that. And then that's when I emailed you again. Yeah. And then you guys were looking for a 3rd or a 4th year, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, I've tried, dreams dead. No one, and not just...
No one wants me.
No one wants me. Seriously, I was like, no one wants to hire... Yeah. No one wants to hire a chick, that's just...
Which is pretty shit.
It is what it is, whatever, sort of came to terms with it.
I think as an employer, that's never the case on my end, and we always say, we always hire down to like personality, and that's why I always had you still as an option no matter when we were hiring. And I've you know, said that, you know, like when we are looking for a first year, like I'll get you in, and I think that's we must do called you and
I got an email.
But you kind of weren't looking.
Well, no, because I'd sent, so that was before I got my office job. I bumped into you at the pub, and you were like, "Oh, did you apply for a job?" And I was like, at that point, I was like, I'm fucking done with it. Yeah, I was so done with it. I was like, no, like, whatever, I don't care. And I'd literally just received like confirmation of a new job. And then, I was probably doing that job for about 6 months, and then I was like, I can't, like, I need to be doing a job that I'm hands-on and stimulated, and like my other job was sweet, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And then I emailed got in contact with you guys again, and you weren't looking, so I went back to uni. I was actually like halfway through a term when you guys emailed me to be like, do you want to come and do a trial?
So we threw a spanner in the works.
And I fully didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my God, like this opportunity's fine. And because it, like, back to the timing thing, like I was like, I'm halfway through a term, like, am I meant to be doing teaching? Like, is that actually something I want to do, or should I try to do this trial? But then I was like, I don't really know anything about anything. Like, I don't know if I'm even good enough to do, and I think just like playing in the back of my head, I was like, am I even like good enough to be a Sparky? Like, what? I don't even know.
Well, if you hadn't done a trial or done anything to do it, or had anything to do with it, and I guess, like, what did you have that made you want to be a Sparky apart from, like, what actually made you go, well, that's what I want to do? If you hadn't done it before, like, what was the thing that made you go, I want to be a Sparky? What drew you to that?
One of my really good girlfriends, she's a tiler. And so the thought of entering into a trade sort of started from when she started doing her apprenticeship. But I didn't want to be a tiler. I didn't want to be
Definitely wouldn't want to be a fucking plumber.
Shovel shit for a living. Kidding.
So you wanted to be the best trade there was. So yeah, it was a smart
in all honesty, I think being a Sparky is probably the most, and I'm not obviously speaking for like all females, but for my personal belief, like, I think being a Sparky is the most female friendly in regards. No, but
it's a bit girly to be a Sparky.
No, it's not girly, but like I can't carry like 6 metre lengths of timber.
No, you can do whatever you want.
I can't even hold a fucking tape measure straight. Like,
we will get to that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so
yeah, you wouldn't be able to be a chippy because you can't use a tape measure.
Yeah, or any form of power tool at all. But yes, I didn't want to be a chippy, like, more for how labour intensive it is. Didn't want to be a plumber because I didn't want to shovel shit for a living.
No one wants to be a plumber.
Didn't want to be a tiler because I'm not very artistic. Like, I think you need a really narrow eye for that. And then, I don't know, there's heaps of other trades. Like, my sister's doing an auto electrical apprenticeship at the moment.
Completely different.
Completely different, but that's not really readily available over, like,
it's a lot of
here.
Old
because she's doing it in WA, so there's like,
it's just like small.
All the mines.
You'd be working for like a one old dude. Probably set up in a seedy factory with calendar chicks on the walls and stuff. Dead set, I reckon.
Miss February.
Yeah.
So it took. I'm glad. This sounds so lame, but I'm glad that it did take as long as it took to be able to get an apprenticeship
to get the right one
with New Age, because even like when I was calling it, the attitude that I got on the phone, I was like, well, if they can fob me off this easily, like, do I really even want to work for an employer that's like that doesn't even want to give me the chance to prove myself, kind of thing? Like,
it's going to put a bad taste in your mouth from the get-go, and then it's like when you're an employee, and especially you don't have like a lot of knowledge in the trade or anything, you're going to want to be working for someone that's going to be able to like help build you up and not put you down.
I remember on my trial, I was so nervous, had nothing, never carried a ladder, nothing in my life, and Bagger rocked up to site and he was like, oh, so what do you know? And I was like, for nothing. And he's like, your green is green. And I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Whatever you say, it's a yes, because I really want a job. Thanks.
Carrying ladders upside down and stuff.
Fully. I was working with Sammy.
You could have played some good tricks on you.
Oh my God, my first day I was working with Sammy and we parked right in front of this Swift and I like almost sent the ladder through the windscreen of the car.
You're still doing shit like that though, I reckon.
I know, but I do that more with confidence now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Whereas now I'm like, fuck, whatever.
Yeah. Fuck, just a Swift.
Yeah, it's just a windscreen. Hopefully you've got insurance.
We always forget. You're on off the beer. Your favourite beer. Cute little koala on the front.
The Aussie Lager.
Earth beer. Shout them out.
Thank you. 1.4 standard drinks. Not bad.
Not bad. That's
nice and cold.
Yeah,
cheers.
not like an 8% like last week.
Are we on the ground?
Always good.
4.6%.
They're good, those ones.
Yeah.
Aussie Lager Earth beer. Shout out. Getting around it. Thank you.
All the lady tradies. Oh my God. No, I actually hate being called a lady tradie.
What
I don't know.
Do you prefer?
Nothing. Just not a lady tradie.
No.
It's like you're a lady tradie. You need to wear pink. It's like fuck off.
Fluoro pink. No, we're black. We're all black, baby.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
We're the most stylish.
It's pretty funny.
We got the style.
It's pretty funny though. Like when you rock up to some sites and like some of the old geezers are like, oh my God.
A woman.
It's a lady.
A woman.
It's a lady.
Are you the office chick?
Yeah. There was one time we went to this job and this guy was like, oh yeah, like I've been dealing with Kaz, and I was like, oh yeah, like she's in the office, and you could just see him go, what do you mean?
Like, well then what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? I'm like, I'm here to work on your house actually.
Yeah. I got no idea what I'm doing, man.
Yeah.
I fucking drill holes everywhere.
Me.
I fucking knew it.
Yeah. Full fraud.
I guess like we kind of talked about how you getting into it and stuff. So I guess the other thing is like when you first started and you obviously didn't know, like, was it different to what you thought, like what you expected?
So different.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Worse?
No, not just. I just didn't know, like, what to expect at all. I don't know what I sort of thought it would be, but there's definitely things that I've done that I'm like,
harder? Do you think it's like more mentally hard? It's probably like out of all the trades, it's probably. Well, you notice through schooling and stuff, it's probably the most, like, I'm going to say, like, I don't know how you say it without saying the smartest. It's not like the smartest. It's like the most technical knowledge-based trade in regards to, like, fucking equations and shit.
Yeah,
and, like, there's so much stuff you learn in school you probably don't, like, that it's so that you don't need as well.
I'm definitely finding TAFE hard for the fact of, like, you have to remember so much stuff to then apply it to... But I think more so the thing that... Not that I found hard, but knowing that, like, electricity will kill you.
That shit is dangerous.
You will die.
Yeah.
And, like, if you are not cautious and careful with what you do, like, your clients could be dead. Their house could be
kill yourself or
burnt
kill
to the ground. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's something that a lot of people don't think about. Of like, you know, you always get someone going, it's like, why does it cost so much? Well, you're doing 4 years of training minimum to even become an electrician. To learn not how to fucking kill yourself, and to do stuff safely. So you're not killing someone else, because it is like, it's invisible.
And I think
you can't see it, you can't smell it, you feel it, and if you fucking feel it,
touch wood, haven't been belted yet.
Yeah.
Have been belted by a mega though, because I didn't.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, but I didn't realise that that's what it was.
Well,
and
is that what it feels like?
I grabbed both probes and I was like,
that's
oh.
That's what it feels like.
But yeah, it's more so.
That's good. If you
in the back of my head, not being like, oh my God, this is so hard and it's so complicated. It's more so, if I don't do this properly, like someone could die. Yeah. You know, like if you're leaving bare live cables and...
So that was something that you didn't have, like everyone knows in the world that electricity is dangerous, but it's something like you probably didn't realise how closely you'd be like, not we're saying we're working live, but like, you know, how close you'd be working with stuff that could possibly
become
like, and that's
live.
why we test.
I think now I've definitely got more of a trust.
Your new multimeter, hey?
My new multimeter. Shout out Ford Lord for the donation to the Georgia charity.
That's just because I buy so much shit that I've got
that you don't
ample
use.
amounts of just spare gear that I can just gift people.
Donate to the needy.
Yeah.
The poor and needy.
Yeah, that's it.
But definitely, like, when I started my apprenticeship, I was like, didn't know, because I didn't have any testing gear. I didn't know what was live. I didn't know how you knew it wasn't live, or how you did know it was live, or like how you knew some part of a house was live and then some wasn't. And whereas like now I've kind of got more of an understanding of like why things aren't live and why they are live. And obviously now that I've got testing equipment, it makes everything like so much easier. I just don't want to die. That's fine.
You're walking around with like arc-rated gloves on all the time in a rough-in, and like you got the face shield on and stuff.
Fully.
What the fuck are you doing? I don't want to die.
I just don't want to die.
I just don't want to die.
I just don't want to die.
You're all right. You're gonna survive. We'll get you through it. We'll make sure you survive. At least 4 years.
4 years. 4 years. I
got to get my money's worth out of you. So, like, what do you reckon? How do you feel, like the initial interaction with the team? Like, you didn't really know anyone that worked here, did you?
Knew Snelly and Easty and everything about 40 because I stalked him like a crazy lady. No, I didn't actually stalk 40. Everyone out there at home.
Yeah. Righto.
I'm normal-ish, not really. I'm actually pretty
You're actually quite close from that restraining order I got against you. So.
Far back.
So you know a couple of guys.
Didn't know really anyone or anything about anything, but I think the best thing about what I've experienced like with New Age is people of all tradies, everyone, apprentices as well, like have just treated me like an apprentice. I'm not treated like, I think maybe in the beginning people were like, oh, we've got a chick working for us, like, but then they sort of got to know me,
how like brutal you
how
are,
rogue I am. They're like, okay, we're actually sweet.
She doesn't count.
She's actually a bloke. Nah. But I think in the beginning the best thing was people being like, yeah, whatever, she's a chick, but she's still an apprentice. Like, if she has the ability to carry something, like, she can fucking carry it.
Digging that hole.
Yeah, like, she's got 2 hands, she can hold a shovel, like, do you know what I mean? And I think in the beginning I definitely was wanting to prove myself a lot more in the fact of, I'm a female, but I can still do it, even though I had no idea, like, what I was doing or how to use power tools, really.
No.
Whereas, like, now I'm kind of comfortable, like, so comfortable within the company and with, you know, everyone that I can be like, okay, I actually have no fucking idea how to do that. Do you want to, like, if you can show me?
The confidence to ask and ask questions and stuff, which,
because I think...
But that's definitely something that you're nervous about because you don't want to add to a stereotype or whatever that you don't know what you're doing.
That chicks are useless.
Fuck, doesn't know how to fucking use a drill. But you know what? The fact is, if anyone that hasn't really done much before doesn't know how to use a fucking drill. Like, I didn't know. I hadn't done anything when I'd started, like using a clutch on a drill and stuff. There's probably people that still won't fucking know. Do you know?
I mean, probably not.
What's a clutch?
Are they in cars?
I just fucking put it on.
I don't know. But yeah, it's good. Like, I remember one time when we were working at the Shawsey, we were having to core hole all of those, like, pits. And someone was like, oh, it's all good, like, I'll do it. And then Bagger was like, no, like, if she's not going to do it, she's not going to learn. Like, she can do it. Regardless if it takes me, like, 10 minutes or 10 hours, like, she can do it. Because if she doesn't do it, she doesn't learn.
You can't baby someone. But, like, I feel like that's across the board because sometimes people are like, oh, I'll just do it. It's easier if I just do it. But, like, my biggest thing is, like, being able to push apprentices. Like, if it's something that, even if it's something hard, like, it's, you know, when do you ever get if it's something that isn't going to cause a major repercussion if you fuck it up, then I think you should have the go at being able to do it. Like, it's the same, like, doing a switchboard or whatever. Like, you can always re-tidy it up if you have to, you know what I mean? And get shown it. But, like, as long as you're shown as well, the right way. Like,
and I think
otherwise you're just not going to learn. There's no point just going, oh yeah, no, I'll
worry, I'll do it.
this time. And then when the time comes and you need to do it, and you're like a third year or something, and they're going, well, you should know this. And we're like, well, I've never actually
learnt it.
Had the time.
Which I think is like good about all of us, is that you guys and all the tradies and stuff are, you know, like, yeah, we're apprentices, but we're not shit kickers. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're not just at jobs sweeping up. We put pressure on the people because we know our biggest goal is you're not an apprentice that is just here to dig holes or fucking sweep. To be cheap labour.
To me, I'm training you to become one of my tradies.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm going to put as much effort in as I can to you while you don't cost as much money as a tradie.
Exactly.
Which
and
is
like if you do it now, then exactly. Like when we are qualified, there is the confidence that you can be like, yep, sweet, okay, no worries. You guys can go off and run jobs, and we know that you have the ability to do that instead of like me becoming qualified and then calling and being like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing.
Yeah, because you've been sheltered your whole apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So I guess like, how was your interaction with like me and Jared as well, like with us being employers, and were you like nervous about anything to do with us as employers or anything like that, or was it just like? It
wasn't as employee, it was just as a female in the industry. But and I think as well, I'm one of 5 girls in my TAFE class, so there's definitely more females coming into it, which is really nice. Like, it's really good. And did you all get
grouped together for a reason?
I think we all got grouped together because we are females, which like whatever, if that's what you want to do, you want to do. But
it's probably not a bad way though of like, it gets you guys to then meet each other and be able to talk about stuff. Yeah,
but we don't really talk about. I don't know. I
don't
think
you have a tradie lady club? Like a secret
lady
club
tradie club, yeah, we do.
Isn't there a secret club?
Yeah, every Tuesdays after TAFE.
You have like secret handshakes.
Yeah, we drink rosé in our pajamas. No, I'm just kidding. We don't fucking do that. Fuck that. No, I mean, like, whatever, if that's what the TAFE like wanted to do, but I work with men every day.
Yeah.
I don't.
Creeps and everything.
Yeah. Nah, everyone's like pretty good. Not here. Well, nah. I'm just kidding. Everyone's sweet. Yeah, the brickies. You're a different breed. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, like if that's what they wanted to do and that's how they wanted to run TAFE, then, you know, that's sweet. But I think, and I'm not the only, like I've spoken to the other girls in our industry, like we're doing the trade because we want to do the trade. Yeah. Like we're not.
No one's pushed you.
No one's pushed us into doing it. And, you know, I feel like being a female, you kind of have to work a little bit harder. And I feel like you want to do it more. Like, it's not like, oh, fuck, I've dropped out in year 10. I'm just going to be a sparky, or I'm just going to be a chippy. Like, that doesn't happen.
You've gone out of your way.
Yeah.
It's like, it is like, it's changing.
Yeah.
But it's seen more, it's obviously a more male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
It's changing.
Yeah, 100% it's changing, which is good.
And there's still stigma around it and everything like that. And, you know, I think from my, like, what I see, because of what your point is, that the girls might have gone out of their way and they know that's what they're going to do and they've dedicated themselves to doing it. And it's obviously a bit harder to get an apprenticeship, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So, therefore, it shows that the people that have are, like, determined. To me, I feel like... chicks are a bit more, like, I don't know how...
More of a passion for it, I reckon.
Passion for it, that's what I was saying. Yeah, so more of a passion and drive for it. And you can tell, like, you know, like, guys making your Instagrams and, like, you know, it shows, like, doing that, having your own Instagram for electrical shows that you care.
Yeah.
And, like, you froth on, you're getting your tools and doing, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel like there's a big passion.
It's so funny, like, now that I've started my apprenticeship, that I froth out on tools.
Yeah. It just comes.
It's just... Like for
Christmas
this year, I was like, I want a multi-tool. And my mum was like,
what is that?
What the fuck is that? Here's a voucher for Sydney Tools. I was like, this is the best day ever.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's so funny, like getting all your kit and everything sorted.
Like, and I think that's like shows that you care about it as well. Like if someone like doesn't have like good tools, it normally shows that like they don't really care as well. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I'm not
get the bare minimum, whatever.
I'm just up to work. I don't really want to spend money on this stuff. Like that's what makes you money, because your tools is what makes your life easier if you've got good and the right tools.
Cable strippers, FYI, everyone listening at home.
We had a big argument about this when Georgia started. that I wasn't going to let her use cable strippers.
He refused to show me what cable strippers were, and then...
I gave her some pliers and the drummer cable and said, I want you to strip this whole fucking thing with this pair of pliers.
And then we went back and then we went and did garden lighting, and then he was like, "Oh, use these," and I was like, "What are these?" He's
That's
like,
a hot tip.
He was
I let that happen. That's a hot tip. Everyone, mate.
He was like, "I didn't want to show you these, but they're cable strippers. Life changing. I don't care what anyone says."
You don't have pliers anymore, do you?
Fuck the pliers.
You just twist with your fingers.
Fingers.
Cable strippers.
Cable strippers, fingers. You heard it here first, everyone. On the Spark
It's a new way of doing it.
On the Spark Your Interest podcast, cable strippers. They dead set will change your life.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
You wouldn't even have calluses on your fingers,
You
would
don't.
you?
Yep. Arthritis in my hands.
I've
don't
still got
think
mine.
so. Yeah, and you do. Not much. Kidding.
But I guess like we have you in regards to like tools and stuff, like learning tools, because if you didn't have that background, did you find that hard? Like knowing if someone goes, go get me it. I struggled with that when I was an apprentice. I feel like I didn't know heaps of tools, and I was doing like work experience, and I was getting told to go get shit, and I just come back with, I just guess, and I was like, go get this, and I was just like, fucking just looking in the back, and I'm like, that fucking looks like it sounds like that, and I was like,
take this.
is this it? No, that's
no.
definitely not
That's
it.
so far from
completely
it.
different tool. I'm like, fuck.
I did used to work at Bunnings, so I had a little bit of knowledge like from that, but like if I had no idea, I'd be like walking to the car, like Googling, what is a shifter? What is this?
I actually
What
got done
is
with
that?
a shifter because I called a shifter a spanner, adjustable spanner.
Well, yeah.
And I remember someone telling me to go get a shifter, and I'd never fucking heard. This is when I was like year 10 work experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is a shifter? I think I gave him a fucking screwdriver. This sounds like a shifter.
An uninsulated screwdriver here.
So, like moving forward within the company and the industry.
Yeah.
Is there like, have you got goals that you want to work towards?
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Definitely want to get into like running jobs.
Yeah.
Obviously when I am at a point that I'm kind of knowledgeable enough to do that, but project management is sort of what I wanted to do when I was...
at some stage get off the tools sort of thing? Like fully off the tools?
Wouldn't be able to get... I don't think I'd be able to fully get off the tools mentally. Like I can't sit down for too long. But yeah, in my... So when I went to uni when I was like 20, then I was like, don't really froth this. Kind of want to get an apprenticeship. Can't afford to be not a mature age apprenticeship. Sort of let it go. Did a heap of shit in between, like managed pubs, was a receptionist, just did retail work, and then I was like, do you know what? Like, I actually would froth out to do project management.
You're organised though. You're like super organised.
Yeah.
Like even today.
I mean,
like,
my home life's a fucking shambles, but like.
Yeah. Or at least you've got your shit together at work.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Not on a Monday.
Not on a Monday.
Not if you're working with me on a Saturday.
Friday. I had my shit together on Saturday. I wasn't hungover. I actually wasn't. I was good. I was responsible.
Yeah.
But I was like, I would froth to do project management in the construction industry, but I was like, I don't really want to, because I've heard...
not have a background
in it. Like I've heard from like mates who deal with project managers who haven't had it.
Just write them off.
Yeah, well basically, like they haven't had the industry experience to actually know what is involved in...
That's a good call. Yeah, I like that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and also, once again, being a female, wanting to be in the construction industry, I was like, I need as much behind me as I can. So are you saying this is a stepping
stone? Am I a stepping stone?
Yeah, I'm using you.
To become a project manager?
To become a project manager.
Oh,
well, no, but like within the company, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't, like see myself going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to leave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's no reason for me to go and find work elsewhere. We've got a great bunch of people that work for us. Work environment's great. The type of work that we do is pretty mint. There's obviously some days that you just rock up to work and you're like, I fucking hate this, but That's like any job.
What would that be then?
Well, the middle of summer being in a roof with fiberglass insulation.
Yeah, that's my roof.
That sucks.
We don't.
But
do
like
that
it is what it is.
We
like,
don't do that.
Exactly.
Stuff,
like it is what it is. You know, like I can't.
We're pretty lucky. Like we're pretty much most of the stuff we're doing.
So much of our work is clean.
Yeah.
And I think maybe because a lot of our work is clean, I do stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm fucking quitting.
But it's good. It's good to have that because then same thing. Like you want to have that good variety. Because otherwise, if you're just roughing houses for 4 years, like.
Well, and I think that's like what's sort of the best thing about like what we do is we do everything. You know, like I go to TAFE with people that just do solar. That's all they do, day in, day out. Like.
On a roof every day.
And they, you know, like to me, like cutting out a PowerPoint and fitting off a PowerPoint's like second nature. You don't even think about it. But then
with your cable strippers.
With my cable strippers. With my cable strippers and my uninsulated screwdriver. Oh, God. So mean.
Don't tell me that. I thought you said you didn't want to die.
I don't want to die, but it's not live.
Damn.
It might be.
Not that time.
But, you know, like to me that's second, like whatever. I do that every day. But then there were people in my TAFE class who like didn't know how to draw, like they didn't know how to do it. And it's kind of nice to be like, oh, okay.
Fucking better than you.
I'm so good at what I do. No, I'm kidding.
You suck.
Yeah, no offense, but you should probably quit.
Yeah.
No. But it is pretty funny, like, I've had a few people being like, do you think you'll finish your apprenticeship? And I'm like, oh, I fucking hope so. Yeah. Like, I've started it. Yeah. What do you mean? But, like, there are...
Like what? From school or from, like, other, just people you know?
Just, like, old geezers on
they just
site.
Think you're just doing it
I'm just doing it, like... I don't know.
Summer break.
Yeah, fully. Like, it's just a hobby, but which it's pretty funny. Like when I get comments and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know. Did you finish your apprenticeship?
Look at my drills. I got more tools than you.
Wait, and they're labelled.
Yeah, you got labels and everything. That's how I know you're organised. You got fucking labels on every tool.
Georgia Taylor Nay is my phone number. Still managed to lose everything. But it's pretty. I'm frothing, and it's good. Being able to be hands-on every day and, just learning and absorbing. Like, you don't really know. Like, I look back at myself. It was probably, what month are we in? July. In, like, 2 weeks, I think, was my trial 12 months ago.
Yeah, right.
And I look back at myself then to now to even see how much I've absorbed.
How much you know.
In that, like, 12 months isn't really... It's a long time, but it's not really a long time.
Tape measure.
Tape measure of a very, very, very knowledgeable boss.
He's not here now, he's on holiday.
He's on holiday. He's actually travelling the world. Miss you, bagger.
Mum's here.
Mum's
got the
Dad's on holidays, Mum's got the credit card.
Yeah.
So she can buy unnecessary tools.
So good though.
So funny.
So have you got any horror stories that maybe you want to do that you can share from, like, maybe, I don't know, just walking into
site
toilets and just going, what the fuck is going on here?
Site toilets are the worst thing ever. I remember in my, like, first couple of weeks, there was this one site toilet the site that we were working at, and I don't think anyone had been to the site in a while, and I obviously don't think the toilet had been cleaned in a while. And, like, I had a full, like, phobia of, not phobia, but I was like, oh my God, like, would hold my wee on for as long as I could because I just didn't want to go to the site toilets. But it was hot, so I drank heaps of water, and then I went into this site toilet and I opened the door and it looked like someone had shat in their hands and just fucking pegged it at the wall, and I was like...
Do you reckon someone was having a bad day that day?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Why?
It's like someone had just, like, pulled their pants down and just shat. And I was just like, oh,
you know what that is? That's
my God.
That eat fucking meat pies and cans of beef. Oh. And they can't hold it in.
It was horrible, and I was so busting, and there was, like, nowhere for me to hide and do a wee.
You know what the worst thing would be? Imagine someone like waiting to go in and then you walk out and they're like, what the fuck did that chick do in here? What has she done?
And then I went in and I was like, oh my God. And then there was no toilet paper and I was like, this just keeps getting fucking worse. The worst is when there's no site toilet. And
that's bullshit.
And you're like so busting and then you just can't.
Got to find the bush.
You can't really, like, with all the work that we sort of do, like new builds and stuff.
Yeah,
like
we can't be pissing in.
Peeing in corners. Hey guys, sorry, don't mind me.
Don't you just carry around like a bottle or something?
A
shiwi. That's what we said. You're going to get one of that.
Shiwi.
Yeah.
If you're watching this or listening to this, actually won't take a sponsorship because I'll never use it. But, yeah, so I haven't had anything like really horrific. I've had like some sleazeballs, but like majority of people are sweet. Like it's once every like.
And older dudes, yeah.
Just old dudes,
yeah,
like
they're just not.
They just don't understand that the industry's changing.
Yeah.
Like they don't. Yeah, they just don't get it. Some old brickie was trying to poach me and telling me that he'd pay me all this money, and I was like,
to do what?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, nah, bruz, like, good thanks.
Yeah.
Like, good thanks. And I don't know. So there was one time this labourer, I don't know what I think he was a labourer, and he like broke his Phillips bit for his impact, and so he came up to us and was like, oh, do you have any spare? Like, do you have any spare? And I was like, oh, I do, but they're only like short, like little shitty ones. And then anyways, I went and got them and I showed him. I was like, you can have them. Like, I don't use them. And he's like, oh, they're little girl bits. And I was like,
fuck you.
What? You were asking me because you broke yours and then you caught, like, your logic is shit. That's so dumb. But all good, mate. I'll take my little girl bits and then my like normal size.
You can go.
And you can go.
Your ass.
Basically.
Fuck.
Yeah, but like, and it's good. Like, if any of the guys or anything hear shit like that on site, they're like, "Are you kidding?" Like,
yeah, like people stick up.
Yeah, they're like, "What do you mean? Like, why would you say that?"
Yeah.
That's dumb. You're dumb. It's stupid. Like,
it shouldn't happen.
But like, honestly, I probably copped more shit like working in pubs.
Yeah, you got a backbone. You used to.
And I think like for any female that like wants to get into it, like if you've thought about it and you've thought about it for long enough, you know, like if you think, oh, one day, oh yeah, sweet, I want to get a trade, and then like a week later you're like, oh, actually I might do this, or like, then I probably wouldn't suggest it if you haven't thought about it for like a long time. But if you've thought about it for ages, it's obviously something that you think you can do, and if you don't try, you don't know.
No, well,
like,
that's it.
You know, if you think it's something that you want to do, the best way is to do work experience.
Yeah.
You know, like you won't obviously do everything that you'll do in the trade when you do work experience, but you'll get a feel for it. And
I think that's a good call. Like, I don't think we get enough of that either, where people just kind of call us up and go, oh, have you got any apprenticeships? Where it's like, maybe if you're thinking about it, it's a good thing to maybe call a company and say, hey, look, I want to try and see if it's something I like to do. Like, I'll come and work for free for a couple of days or a week or whatever, and just so I can get a feel for it and see if it's what I want to do. I feel like someone doing that will be like, yeah, well, you know, it means you like kind of want to cruise. And then they go, if that's what you want to do, then you can pursue that, where you go and do like, I think you're the only person we've taken on that hasn't done Cert 2. What did Kyle do his? I don't know.
Yeah, Kyle's done his.
Yeah, I think you're the only person. I normally want to have that as a requirement. Like someone.
I think because I was probably so persistent with it too. Like, it was kind of.
I knew that you wanted.
I knew that I wanted to do it, you know. And like, if you do it for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, you do it for 6 months, and you go, do you know what? I've done it, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, then you don't know that.
Yeah.
And that's like when you guys approached me to do my trial, I was like, fuck, like I actually don't know what to do. I was like, am I even going to want to do this. Like, it's because it was such a long time in the making. I was like, oh my, like, this is actually happening. This has happened. Like, they've asked me to come and do a trial. What do I do? And then I did the trial and I was like, so sold.
All in. Yeah.
I was so sold. I like did the trial. You guys offered me the job on the Friday, and then the next day I went to Sydney Tools and I like went and bought all my tools. I was so excited. But like, it doesn't matter if you're a female, like, or a male really wanting to get into any industry, you know, like, it's like people turning around and being like, a male can't be a nurse. Like, you can.
Yeah.
If you want to be a nurse, you can. If you've thought about it for long enough, you can.
And if you're dedicated.
If you're dedicated enough, you can. And, you know, you don't know until you try. Yeah. And if you work with a supportive enough employer, there's no reason that you can't do it. I had no idea. I still don't really have any idea, but like, I had no skills, no nothing. Yeah. You come in green. Yeah. And you've proved that you don't need a knowledgeable background because you've picked it up. And I think that comes down to attitude as well. And I know you've got the right attitude and you've got a real good attitude for learning. You want to learn, you're keen, you asked heaps of questions. And that was my thing, that when I worked with you the first time, you asked heaps of questions and it wasn't like stupid questions. Like it was actually like, that first day we installed that switchboard and you're actually helpful and you weren't a hindrance. Yeah. And like asking the questions is good, and you know, you've got a good presence on site as well, and everyone will say that. Yeah, thanks. So what you lack in skill, you make up for in banter. Yeah, and personality. Banter. Yeah. And I think like with this industry, you do sort of have to have a little bit of a backbone, not just being a female, but just anyone, you know, backbone, good banter, good work ethic. Like, if you don't work hard, you don't go anywhere. Yeah. You know, like, you can pass TAFE and do whatever, but like, at the end of the day, like, if you're not trying and you're not interested, you'd be a shit Sparky. Yeah. It's like anything, any job. Yeah. If you just show up, you clock in, clock out, you know, like. You get out what you put in. So that's a good piece of advice for people that are thinking about it. And it's like, if you're not going to be fully committed, you're not going to get out. And it's 4 years of your life. So, and then it's not just 4 years of life as a training. It's like, well, are you then going to are you going to be doing that for a long time? Yeah. My biggest regret is not paying enough attention or caring enough when I was an apprentice, because I just didn't give a fuck. Yeah. And like, I wish I did, because I'd love to know what I'd be like now because I didn't care. And like, so many people have said that. Like, so many people have said that to me going to TAFE. They're like, it's not great, like, it's pretty boring, but make notes, make sure you revise. Like, you know, like, if you take note now, it makes doing your capstone 3 years down the track so much easier. What have I taught you about, like, stuff like contactors? Why a contactor? Yeah. I still get tradies that come to me and go, I can't remember how to do it. Yeah. So I said to you, like, from your first year, you do one, you draw it out. Draw a diagram in your diary. Save a picture of it on your phone. Yeah. And that's going to be like, you can almost have your diary as a hub of knowledge of going back through. It's not just for writing what you did in there. You can literally draw diagrams, stuff that you do once, draw it in there, how to do a 2-way or a 3-way switch or whatever, and then have it in there. So then when you do need to do it, it's like you can go back and go, that's right. And like, it's pretty cool looking back. That shows you care as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool, like, even looking back on stuff like that, being like, how to wire in a GPO or like wire in a switch. And now I look back and I'm like, I can do, like, I can. You don't even think. I don't even think about it. Like, I can do that. Yeah. So it's really cool to look, from where I started to where I am now to where I, can be at the end of my apprenticeship. In a couple of years and be like, fuck, I'm like, now I'm running jobs. I've got to drive around in Prado. Souped up Prado. Yeah, maybe. I don't think you'd let anyone touch that. Project manager. I'm going to be a project manager one day. Watch this space. Whatever the date is, the 11th of July, 12th of July, 2023. I know that because my milk went out today. And it was my son's birthday yesterday. It was your son's birthday yesterday. That probably should have been the more important point that you
No, I
made.
just checked the milk and then I checked my phone.
My expired milk. Oh, wait, my son was also born yesterday, 12 months ago.
Mate, I got 3 kids, I forget.
Hopefully they don't listen to this
So
podcast.
I guess, have you got any advice for, people that would want to be like other girls that want to get into it, ladies that are thinking about it, like, younger, older girls in school still that are, they might be in like a younger year at school, whether it's year 9 or 10 or 12 and thinking about, oh man, I've kind of thought about that when I do it. You know, people that are older that have done another career that want to do it, like advice around that, because to me, like, I think something that would be like pretty amazing is, I don't know if it is a thing, I don't know if it will become a thing, it definitely wasn't when I was at school, but someone like yourself or whoever going to the schools and like giving talks about it. It is a viable career option. Yeah. Like, you have career days where people come in and tell you to be a fucking doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
Mate, look,
and I think that's what it is. Like, like you go to school and this was, I mean, both my parents worked at my school, but, it was ATAR, graduate, high grades, uni, blah, 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 blah,
do a uni course for 4 years and then you don't even do it.
And then you don't even do it. Like and that's what I did. I hated school. Yeah. Oh my God, so much. Like, didn't really have the option of, okay, you hate school, there's trades. Yeah. Like, you can do trades. It's not just, oh, you hate school, you're in year 10, become a hairdresser. Like, that was sort of like the only option. Whereas, if you're thinking that you want to do a trade and if you've thought about it for a while, there's no reason that you can't. I think advice maybe to like females who are like year 10, 11, 12, there's so much in life that you need, that you'll like come to learn. But if you have a good work ethic and you show up to work and you work hard and you do, you do your best, regardless if your best isn't amazing. Like, my best at the start was horrible. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I still showed up and I still did. I showed that I wanted to learn, and I feel like now that I have the maturity, the life experience that I have, I now, like, if I don't show up to work, I don't get paid, and therefore I can't pay my bills and I can't. So I think that definitely influences.
Yeah, being that bit older and having responsibilities. More so now, whereas like for younger females, like if you've got a good work ethic and like the money as an apprentice fucking sucks. Like, it is not great, but if you work hard enough, you can work up to a point where you are getting good money. Yeah. And like, if you've got a good support behind you, like being as not a mature age apprentice and you're still living at home or whatever, like, yeah, you've still got your parents to fall back on, but you shouldn't have that mentality to be like, oh yeah, but my parents like pay for food and they pay for this, like blah, 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 blah. Like, you just need to make sure that you show up and you have a good work ethic. Yeah. Because if you've got a good work ethic, it'll carry you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And like, even people can learn. Our biggest thing with hiring someone is you can learn the skills. Not everyone's going to have skills. Some people that we hire are freakishly good and they haven't done it before. Yeah. And they've got a good attitude, they're going to be good. Yeah. Someone else have no skill, but have a good attitude.
Which that's what was, I had no
but that's
skill.
why like we hired you and Kyle at the same time. Like, we put on 2 people as a trial and we can't pick between one. Yeah. Like, Kyle had a bit more knowledge of like actually on the tools, but your attitude and your like drive to learn is like, how can I not like feed that? And like, I know that you're going to get there. Like, skill wise is fine. You can learn that. Like, you'll learn that. If it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. If it takes 3 years, whatever. But having that attitude
the whole point
and
of
drive is like the main thing. You can't teach that to people. You can't teach attitude. You can't change that attitude. Yeah. You can't. It's so hard to get someone motivated that's not motivated. Yeah. So if you've already got that, that's like a massive thing for an employer. Yeah. Like, even just walking in and having that presence of being like, hey, like, which is what you're like.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm back.
Yeah.
But even the confidence of, like, when I first started, I'd rock up to site and I wouldn't say hi to anyone. I wouldn't, like, I'd just be like, yep, I'm here with New Age, like, hi. Yeah. Whereas, like, now I'll rock up to site and there'll be a builder there and I'll be like, hi, like, I'll be like, hi, I'm Georgia, nice to meet you. And then, you know, you kind of, I feel like if you have that confidence, you kind of gain a little bit
of respect as well.
Respect, because it's like, oh, okay, you're
not just standing there with your hands in your pockets. You're not just standing there
on your phone, like, doing fuck all.
I think that's like the stereotype of it, is that you're going to be not at work as hard as a guy. Yeah. And you're going to be just stood there like,
or I'm not as strong, or as I'm not as, you know, skillful, or whatever. Like, there's so many stereotypes, and, you know, like, I'm the first one to be like, yeah, it's a stereotype. It is not, it is what it is, but that's what it is. And
that's why we're here to change it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like the whole reason I want to do this with you as well, is if one girl watches this who's thinking about...
So from my country sparky chick, shout out, Instagram, follow, like, subscribe, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Anyways, a girlfriend of mine, she had a friend who saw my Instagram and she was like...
Are you inspiring people?
Dead set. She has an apprenticeship now.
Oh, good. That's good.
She has, and she thought, there was one night that we were like having a chat, and, you know, she was like, I saw your Instagram and I thought it was so cool. Like, I've thought about doing that for ages. And I was like, if you think you can fucking do it, you can fucking do it. Yeah. Like, and she was like, what advice, like, do you think? And, like, I just said the same. I was like, if you think you can do it, do it. Like, work your butt off, show that you can do it, show that you've got a great attitude. And that, like, a great attitude trumps someone who is super skillful with a shit attitude.
Yeah, 100%.
No one wants anyone with a shit attitude.
That'll get you further in life. Yeah. In regards to anything.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, and she now has an apprenticeship. I saw her in Haymans the other day and I was like...
around here?
Yeah.
How good's that?
Yeah, she's, I was like...
Sick.
Yeah. So...
I think that's sort of it. And if this video can then, you know, inspire someone to want to do it, and just, you know, always reach out, like, either of us, like, as an employer, wanting to look at hiring a female, as a female looking to get an apprenticeship, hit you up on Instagram. Like, you'd be happy to answer questions to anyone. So happy. So am I. Like, it's...
I'm so here for it. Yeah. You know, like, same. If you think...
And we're not, like, there's nothing that I've had in, like, I'd only hire one female or anything like that. Like, but the same thing, like, we interviewed another female to be an apprentice, and I just, you got to have that click with someone. Yeah. And if you're not female, I can tell if someone's not into it. Yeah. And if someone's not driven by it, and that's going to be the biggest thing as someone going for an apprenticeship, is you got to show that you're passionate about it, because we get, I don't know, 5 to 10 resumes a week for first year apprentices, and, like, I will put them all aside, and then I'll only take out the ones that I could tell if someone wants. You can tell if someone wants it. Yeah,
and don't be disheartened.
Yeah,
like,
just
obviously
stalk.
Easy as stalk, and you will get a job.
Employer, and just follow them around. Yeah. Just go to the
Figure out where they live, where they work, weddings they're going to, kids' names, wives' names. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. That's it.
I kept bumping you in, like, Woolies and stuff.
Yeah, wow, you know, I fully did, hey. It was like the weekend before my... It was the weekend before my trial. Bumped in, I saw you driving, we waved at each other, saw you down the dog beach, and then I saw you in Woolies.
And the waves started getting, like...
And it was like...
What the fuck?
Yeah, why? Yeah, you're like,
hello again.
You're like, are you keen for your trial? And then you're like, what the fuck? Why is she here again? Kidding, that's not actually how it happened. But do not be disheartened. It's so much easier said than done, because I was super disheartened. But the people that are kicking you back because you're a female, like, you don't want to fucking work.
I reckon you just
for
take that
like
on
that
and
anyways.
make it more, you know, if you're getting driven down by no's, like, use that to, you know, that might be because that's not the right thing. That company wasn't the right one for you, like you said. Like, if someone's going to treat you that way, then you don't want to work for them.
Exactly.
You'll find the right person.
Yeah, you'll find, and it'll all, you know, like, slip
I think
into
finding,
place.
like, the right company, you're committing to 4 years of your life. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So you want to
goes really fast, though, which is
when you're having fun.
When you have so much fun.
But you got to have a good boss to have fun, so that's it. but you're committing to 4 years of your life. So finding the right business is as much. It's not just going and getting any apprenticeship because you've got to be happy. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to hate it.
Exactly.
I had that. Whereas I didn't enjoy my apprenticeship. But if you can find the right one, don't settle.
Yeah.
As well. You might apply for 10 jobs and 2 people might get back to you.
Yeah.
Pick the best one.
Yeah. And I've heard so many horror stories as well that it's and I think the industry is changing so much as well. I feel like a lot of the older generation, and they're all now retiring, and people like yourself, and I mean so many of New Age got treated, not through New Age, but where the companies that they did their apprenticeship with, they got treated like shit. And the stuff that they had to do was so dog shit. They didn't learn anything. They progressed not really because they weren't really doing anything. And they now know, so many of our tradies now know that that's not how they wanted to be treated, so that then now trickles into the apprentices. So we are actually learning valuable things. So,
that's it.
I think the industry is changing, which is really, really positive.
Interesting to watch, and then hopefully we get to see some more females in the industry and keep on killing it.
Hopefully, it's Australia-wide too. It's not just in this area. Even if it is, starts in this area and it sort of spreads to...
It is. It's definitely getting bigger.
Yeah.
Just needs maybe that little confidence push from people.
It's kind of nice to see other females in the industry too, being okay, sweet, you can do it, well, I can do it.
That's it.
Which is men.
Build each other up. See ya. You.